How many of you work for a company that says they care about wellness, but the only thing they've offered you is a yoga webinar and nobody showed up? So I thought, corporate wellness isn't a problem. The engagement in said wellness program is the problem. Companies throw money at wellness programs, but nobody likes talking about them or living them or using them. So what's the point, right? Today we're going to talk about why corporate wellness feels like a joke, and more importantly, how to actually make it work for you, your team, and your company. First, I am Matt freaking Deakins, master motivator, inspirer of the uninspired, and a purveyor of positivity. And I'm here to talk to you about why we can all band together and be better, but it all starts from within. So today we're talking about corporate wellness. And here's some reality about corporate wellness. Let's start with this. Corporate wellness sounds great on paper. Gym memberships, mental health resources, nutrition coaching, time off policies, all designed to make you feel like you are supported, right? But here's the kicker. According to Gallup's 2024 State of the Global Workforce study, only 23% of employees say that they're actually engaged at work. That's pretty pathetic if you ask me, right? 23% means most people don't even care enough to click on the wellness link in their HR portal or go to the app that some provide to actually fill out some of the things to help and follow them to help them be better. And it's not because people don't want to be well. That's the crazy thing. It's because the culture doesn't back it up, right? Wellness programs are like treadmills. They work and work and work, but only if someone is willing to move. Think about that, right? So why does corporate wellness feel like a joke? Let's be real. Some companies perform wellness, right? They hand out pizza on burnout week, give you a mindfulness app, but stack your calendar so you can't even use it. And I mean, it's not that you can't use it because you don't have time. It's because when you do have time, the last thing you're thinking about is the mindfulness app. The first thing you're thinking about is, what the hell am I doing with my life? They'll post a mental health awareness tweet, right, while still sending emails at 11 p.m., right? It's not wellness, it's marketing. Employees can see right through that kind of stuff, right? They know when you post on LinkedIn about this being Mental Health Awareness Month, for example, not saying this happens, but for example, when you post about Mental Health Awareness Month on LinkedIn, and I care about my people, and our company does X, Y, and Z, and then you look around you and you go, not quite sure I believe it, right? Employees can see that. And sometimes you think that they don't see that. They just don't say that they don't see it, right? According to a Harvard Business Review in 2023, more than 80% of employees say company wellness programs don't address the real causes of burnout. Things like workload, lack of recognition, and toxic management. Wellness isn't an app or a perk. Let me tell you something. It is a value. The value is proven. The value is proven by behavior, not slogans. So the longer we talk and less we act, the more corporate wellness feels like a freaking joke, right? We can sit here and have webinars and offer the talking heads to talk about how we should be healthier and how we should be X, Y, and Z, but there's no backing up. It's like you put a trough of water somewhere, right? And then we go, hey, here's some tools. So this is them giving you the tools, right? And they say, well, the water's over there. Just go get that water that's over there, right? There's a map in those tools that you're given to try to kind of maybe get in the direction or kind of sort of, directionally accurate towards that water. But we're not going to lead you there. Now, the counterpoint to that is we shouldn't have to baby you. If you want it, you'll go get it. And that's fair too. We'll talk about that later. But now, before we get to that point, we will talk about the engagement gap here, right? Here's the truth nobody wants to say out loud. Wellness programs don't fail because they're bad ideas. They fail because nobody champions them. Nobody champions them properly. Nobody gets the people wanting to be better and act better. We all know that healthier people in a workplace perform better. People who are less stressed, less burnout, nutritionally, better than we are today. We know that if people are watching what they eat and watching what they consume, that they are going to be better in their daily lives. Yet we do nothing besides there's a fruit bowl over there somewhere. Hey, make sure on your way in, next to the 5 pots of coffee with sugar and creamer next to them and the Starbucks app, there's a couple things of fruit that some of it looks good and some of it doesn't. That's not championing wellness. That is, an option may be available if you feel like kind of taking one, right? Leadership doesn't use some of these things even, right? HR promotes them once, and then they die quietly in the inbox. I couldn't tell you the last time that I have seen companies push wellness in emails. They might say here a reward system based on your app or your program. Hey, quarterly awards, but you don't hear much about engagement or programs that people are doing or that we're going to challenge you to do from a wellness perspective. You don't see that, right? You just see what the reward was for the people who went out of their way to care about it, myself being one of them. CDC Workplace Health Resource Center in 2023 found that while more than 80% of large employers offer some kind of wellness initiative, less than 45% of employees participate regularly, right? It's less than 1 in 2 actually participate in the wellness program. So it's not that there's a supply problem, it's the engagement that's the problem. I have coached multiple 9-to-5ers, who had never A, been coached before, but B, followed plans to try to make themselves better. And something I've noticed is they don't really even know what to do. And so I've coached them on how to handle certain situations. Some of them don't even know that, their companies didn't know that their companies offer gym member reimbursement, or they give you options to have a gym to work out in, right? Nor do they know that there's mental health services available. That's a totally different topic for a totally different day, the mental health services provided by companies. But the thing is people know that there's stuff. They were told at one time, at one point, that there was some stuff that falls in the benefits. But no one is really reminded and nobody is really kept up on what the benefits are for them at this place. And the kicker also comes as the engagement gap on these things is also because we're so run down. I'm using we as employees are run down that the last thing they think about is trying to be well. The last thing they're thinking about is using the wellness benefits while they just want to go home or go to bed or see the bottom of a bottle, which is completely destructive. But here nor there. If we overall, if we as a whole don't highlight wellness or spotlight wellness, people are just going to continue to assume that it's not important. And this is proven here in some of the statistics I've said so far. And the crazy thing also is that every year premiums for insurance go up and costs of insurance go up. And we're sitting here saying, why does insurance cost so much? Why do my benefits cost so much? Well, they cost so much because not only is the world getting unhealthier, but the people in your area are also not getting healthier. They're actually going farther the opposite direction. Quarter 4 is the most unhealthy quarter every year. Why? Because there's Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas in the U.S. Right? In the U.S., there's those 3 holidays featured around candy, overeating, turkey, mashed potatoes, and stuffing, and Christmas, which is all cookies and sweets. Those are your 3. And guess what? In the U.S. here, depending where you are, it gets colder. So being here in Ohio, it gets disgustingly freezing, and I hate it. So what does that promote? That promotes inactivity because people don't want to leave their house. They don't want to leave the blankets. They're covered up. They got the fireplace on, sipping their hot cocoa laced with a ton of dairy and sugar. Right? They're making bad choices, and they're being inactive. It's been proven that in the fourth quarter, people gain between 5 and 8 pounds before the beginning of the year. And that's not gaining pounds. That way they can create a New Year's resolution they're not going to fulfill. It's because they're inactive, make bad food choices around the holidays when the food is abundant. That's a different story. But here's the key. We don't have to gain 5 to 8 pounds. We have initiatives through our companies, the ones that you work for. Almost every company has a wellness initiative. Some companies just do it a little differently. But you have these tools at your hand and you're not using them. Now, I mentioned earlier, there's a gap, right? The gap is you are feeling burnt out, and the last thing you want to do is go and do the wellness stuff, right? And companies give you the water somewhere and give you kind of a map to kind of find it, right? And they feel like that's enough. Well, we offered it to you. Here's some of the services. Go for it. Have fun. Knock yourself out. I think there's a problem on both ends. If you have people who are unwilling to step outside of being burnt out and realizing that work isn't life all the time, and you have companies who are more willing to tell people that that's okay, that you need to take a half hour to make yourself well so that we can benefit, there's a gap. Huge gap. Okay? So I'm a big champion on changing the culture here, right? Corporate wellness can work, but it has to be lived and not listed. It shouldn't be a list on a benefit. It should be a culture. It should be ingrained in us that keeping well benefits us and them. Leaders, if you want your team to buy in, you have to model that behavior. If the leaders aren't modeling the behavior of wellness, of appreciation, their people aren't going to model that behavior. It's amazing how much people follow what their leaders do. And I know that sounds like, well, yeah, I know, Matt. Except for the fact that it's extremely obvious when they do, and it's extremely obvious when they don't. And it's pretty crazy. If your team sees you at lunch break using your time off actually show up rested, they'll know that it's not just, yeah, I took a vacation or a staycation and now I'm in even worse of a place. But if you actually take your vacation and come back rested, or you take time off and you come back and you look like you are primed and ready to be present, they're going to follow that. And they're going to realize that that's the standard that needs to be set. And for employees, you don't have to sit and wait for the company to put a dog's leash around your neck and lead you to wellness, right? You have to take the initiative and realize that small steps equals great distances. Share your wins. Invite your coworkers to do the things with you. Do them as a group. I know you're with all these people all day, and the last thing you want to do is spend more time with those people. I get it. However, if you're there with them, why not maximize the benefit for both of you? Be the spark that lights the fire, not the wind that extinguishes it. 3 ways to maximize corporate wellness. Let me tell you, I've got a handful of these I've come up with, but these are the 3 that I like to hone in on. Okay, so we're going to get practical here. And these are for whether you're leading a team or just trying to stay sane. So think about them this way. 1, make it visible. If people don't know about corporate wellness, they can't use the programs. Talk about them in meetings, post them in your groups on bulletin boards, pass out handouts, share success stories. Make it a part of the culture, not just a policy. Make it so that people want to be well and want to be in better moods and want to go home better than they came, instead of going home mentally exhausted so they can let out their stress on their significant other or kids. Number 2, lead from the top. Wellness has to be in leadership. If your boss never logs off, no one ever feels safe to log off. If your boss or leader is showing you that it's okay to go for a walk and stretch your legs, dang it, go for a walk and stretch your legs. If your boss you have to model that behavior. Protect your time. Encourage breaks for people. Leadership sets permission through example. Key there. Leadership sets permission through example. Leaders lead and employees follow what the leaders do. Think about that. Number 3, measure and celebrate engagement. Make sure that you are tracking who's participating in these wellness activities, and make sure it's noted and celebrated. Taking care of yourself is key. No one's going to take care of you for you but you. Recognize the effort. Give the shout outs. Public appreciation is always accepted by everyone. We all know there's not enough recognition in this world. So giving somebody recognition for noticing that they're, trying to become healthier so that they can be better for the team and themselves is worth recognizing, and people don't do it. People move forward or move towards what's getting recognized. If you're being recognized for your behaviors and alignments in wellness as well as your job, so that you are coming to work in a good state and going home in a better state, people are going to say, ooh, they're getting rewarded for that? Hell yeah, sign me up for that, brother. Hell yeah, right? Turn wellness into something fun, not just forced or left behind because it's just over there, right? Come on. We all have to do our part in this. Without doing your own part, you're never going to get anywhere, and you're going to feel like the company's not doing anything for you, right? So the company needs to do better, and you need to do better. So at the end of the day, here in closing, corporate wellness isn't a joke. It's kind of all been told the wrong way. Because at the end of the day, you can't claim to care about people if you don't create the space for them to be human, right? One of my big things I mentioned earlier, you can't leave the water's over there, and you kind of give a map on how the horse should get there. Instead, how about you make it a little more specific instead of being a bunch of letters all over random pages and you got to figure it out the puzzle. Make it a little easier, right? If you're a leader, bring real wellness to your workplace. Bring it to your team. Bring it to your area. Make your 9 to 5 colleagues feel comfortable enough to jump down that journey with you. Wellness also, remember, wellness isn't just body work and eating better and walking and doing exercise. It's also mental, right? So make sure that you are fostering this culture where wellness is better and wellness is appreciated and wellness is encouraged. Because if you encourage that and bring that mindset in, people will follow that and jump on and create this culture of wanting each other to be better. If you are a 9 to 5 professional and you're ready to take your body mindset back, you have to remember that you have to take the first step. We've already talked about companies they'll take the first step of making it available. You have to take the first step to get there. So if you want to do that, your boy here, Matt freaking Deakins, can help you through MFD Evolution. There's going to be a link here in the description of the video. If you want to click in there, fill out the form, and I'll be in contact with you. And we can talk about how you can take what corporate benefits you're provided and use them to your benefit. We all have them, and we get scolded for using the benefits we're provided. Or, looked at funny if we're trying to utilize those benefits in a workday. Isn't that part of why they're benefits? Their availability, and you should use them. So make sure that you're not just checking the boxes. Make sure that you are actually living wellness, living what opportunities you are provided with. And whether you're a leader or an individual contributor, you both have a responsibility to lead the people around you by example. So today, bring that big Deak energy. Show up, show out, go get well, take care of yourself.